And apart from these, we have one more, which is 5xx. Why I kept it separately? Because we are learning backend development and 5xx represents its issue on our end. Welcome to the backend course. Hi, my name is Mohit Chavda, ex Salesforce, ex Walmart, and in today's video we will discuss about status code. So in last couple of videos we have discussed about HTTP protocol, API, request response cycle. So in case you missed that, please refer to these videos. Now as you know, in the response we have a status code. Say for example, 200 here represents the status code success. Okay, so in each of the response we will get a status code, but the question comes, what exactly is this status code? So status code is a 3-digit number. As you can see here, 200, it's a 3-digit number, and it will tell the client that what happened with the request. So based on this status code, client will understand what happened with the request. So in order to understand this in simple terms, you can imagine a 3-digit code is giving the summary of the response. So based on the status code, client will get to know, okay, what happened with the request, right? So now when we talk about the categories of the status code, it is divided into 5 categories. Okay, first category is 1xx. Here it means 1 is fixed. X here means that it will be replaced by some digit. Okay, so for example, it can be 100, 101, and in similar terms, basically we can replace x. Okay, but the first one, this one is fixed, so this is a particular category. So 1xx is very rarely used directly by the apps. It simply shows that the request has been received and the server is still processing the request. That's why it's called informational, and it is very rarely used. For example, 100 represents continue. So basically 1xx is just informational. After this, the next category comes as 2xx. Okay, here you can see 2 is fixed, and after that this x can be replaced by any other digit. Now 2xx represents that the request was successful. So the request was successfully received and it was successfully processed. Now here are some examples of 2xx. You can see first one is 200, which represents okay, that is data was retrieved successfully. Then you have 201, which represents created. So if you remember in the HTTP video, we discussed about various methods like get, post, put, patch, delete. So we use post to create new resources. So when you send post as a request and the new resource was successfully created, then the response status code will be 201, which shows created. Another example is 204, which means no content. The description means that the request was successful but no data returned. Okay, example can be, we use the delete method. So when you want to delete something, you won't get anything in reply, right? It was successful but no content in response, but overall it was success, so it comes in 2xx. So this one is 204. So you can imagine when the client receives any of these, they already know what this means. So this 3-digit code basically gives a lot of information, because these are standard terms. Like 200 means okay, it's like standard all over. Okay, so any front-end developer or anyone would know when it comes 200, it means it was a success, means okay. Okay, so after 2xx, the next category is 3xx. Okay, and it represents redirection. So there are few cases where redirection is required. One of the example can be tiny URL, right, where you get the short URL, and when you click on the short URL, it should redirect to you to the actual long URL, correct? So tiny URL is helpful. Say for example, you want to share a link to some person, but because the link is very big and that cannot come in one single message, or it's difficult to share that big message, you create a small code which is the tiny URL corresponding to the big code. Now when you click on this short code, what it will actually do is find the mapping of the big actual link and redirect to that actual link. So basically we are doing redirection. Okay, So this status code 3xx is useful in these kind of redirections. It will tell the client that redirection will happen. Now here are some examples of 3xx. You can clearly see first one is 301. So as I said, 3 is fixed here and x can be replaced by some other digit. So here the first x is replaced by 0, the next x is replaced by 1, right? So it becomes 301 because it would be a 3-digit status code only, and 301 represents moved permanently, which means it's a permanent kind of change. The resource has been moved to a new URL, right? The next one 302, it represents temporary redirect. So like the example I took, tiny URL, it's 302. We are doing temporary redirect. So your short code is temporarily redirected to the long URL. It's not kind of permanent, okay? Because that complete logic is handled by the server side and database side. It's not like you're making it permanent or cached completely on the web browser. It is temporary redirect. So 302 shows temporary redirect, and 304 is another example which shows not modified. So you are simply using the cached version, which saves the bandwidth. So you have that, say for example, kept in the cache of the browser, and from that it is directly doing that. So that is 304. Okay, but these are all examples of 3xx, which means redirection. Now the next category is 4xx. Okay, so this is very famous. Like 2xx is famous because it's success. 4xx, like these are the client errors which are very common, and 404, it's that famous. You might have also seen that on many t-shirts, right? It's so famous, you might have observed that when using your laptop, right, your browsers, anytime you might have seen 404 coming. So basically 404 means client errors, that there was some issue. It can be bad syntax or something else in the request. So there is some issue in the request, that is the client error, because client sends the request, right? If you want to revise the basic concepts, HTTP request response, you can refer to these videos. So here are some of the examples of 4xx. 400, it's a bad request, which means invalid data sent. For example, you missed some of the fields in the request. 401, it means unauthorized. So you are not logged in and you need to log in for this particular request, right? 403, which means forbidden. So you logged in but you are not allowed, so you are missing some of the permissions. You don't have that permission, and without that permission you can't access this resource and won't get the correct response. 404, yeah, you might have already encountered this. 404 is not found, that is the resource does not exist. Then there is 409, which shows conflict. There is some conflict in the request. For example, you're trying to create a new user with an existing email. And then 429, which says too many requests. So in the system design, there is a term as rate limiting, that is which restricts user from sending too many requests. Why? Say for example, there is a robo attack or a malicious attack where the hacker is trying to put a lot of load on your system, and those are all fake calls. Just they are trying to put so much load on your system that your server breaks, because any resource can handle a certain threshold of request or load, right? If you would make overload on that, your complete system can crash. So in order to avoid all such kind of scenarios, you put rate limiting. You can discover all such concepts in system design. You can refer to my videos as well, where I have discussed about the system design. So yeah, these are some of the categories of 4xx, which shows that there is some client errors. There is something wrong in the request, right? So one question may come to your mind, do you need to remember all this? No, you don't need to remember. I think if you know about the categories, that's good, and with time, when you keep on working about that, you will remember some of these, but these are not required to remember. You just need to have idea, like 2xx means okay, success. 4xx means some error in the client side. Okay, all such things you should know, but you don't need to remember all of the status codes. Okay, you can simply search on Google whenever you get a status code, and you'll get some idea like what was the issue. And when you are developing an API also, you just need to make sure that based on the handling or processing of the request, you send the correct status code back in the response. So that's important. Okay, but you don't need to remember this. Just keep in mind the categories, and then whenever required, you can simply search on Google what this particular status code means, and then you can work with it. Yeah. Okay, so after 4xx, the last category is, yes, 5xx, right? So it's quite easy to remember 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you have only xx because it's a 3-digit code, right? So what does this 5xx represents? It represents server errors. Okay, 4xx was representing client errors. Now it's like server errors. So 5xx is the problem on the server side. Okay, so as a backend developer, if you're writing something, 5xx means issue on our end, we need to check and fix it. So here are some of the examples of 5xx. First one, you can see 500. It says internal server error. It's a very generic server crash or bug, and you might have encountered it in case there was any issue on the server and they have not handled it. So generally you get 500, 501. Okay, so internal server error, such kind of things come. And then you have 502, which is bad gateway, which means server got an invalid response from another server. Okay, so from the client you hit the server, but this server was also hitting some another server to get the data, but it got invalid response from that server. That's why it's returning you 502. It's a bad gateway. Then you have 503, which means the service is unavailable. So maybe the server is under maintenance, or there was huge overload due to which the server crashed and now it's not responding. It's not available, right? Not great to hear, but yeah, that can happen, and you need to handle it as a backend developer. We'll learn about it, don't worry, no pressure. Okay. Okay, the next one, 504, that is the gateway timeout. So server did not respond in the time. Okay, again, you don't need to remember all of these status codes. These are just few examples that I talked about. There can be many more, but yes, these are the 5 categories of the status code, and you should keep these in mind, like what do they mean. Okay, and another thing is, like, while developing the API, you need to make sure that you send the correct status code in the response, right? So that the client gets the correct picture from the status code. So I know you want to remember this in an easy way, so let's try in this way. I will try to explain you the HTTP status code in easy terms. Okay, 1xx means hold on, it's just informational. Next, 2xx, here you go, it was a success. Next is 3xx, so it's giving you redirection, you go there. Okay, not here, there. Okay, it's a redirection. Next is 4xx, which means you messed up, so it's a client error. And apart from these, we have one more, which is 5xx. Why I kept it separately? Because we are learning backend development, and 5xx represents its issue on our end. Yeah, difficult to say, but yeah, it means we messed up, server error. Okay, so these are the 5 categories, and you can see all of these in one go here. Okay, so first one, 1xx, shows it's informational. Then after that you have the 2xx, which represents its success. Then we have 3xx, which means redirection. Then we have 4xx, which represents the client error. And lastly, we have the 5xx, which represents server error. We messed up, we need to fix it. Okay, so these are the 5 categories of the status codes, and based on this 3-digit code, the client will know what happened with the request. Now let's try to understand the status code with a simple example. Okay, so for example, in the request we sent get as the method, and we are hitting at this like users/123. Okay, so in case the user exists, the response will be 200, which means okay with the user data, which is success. Okay, but in case the user 123 does not exist, it will give you 404, which means not found. Just in case the request has invalid input, like for example get user slash abc. So here instead of abc the user id should have come, but we have written abc, so it's an invalid input. So in that case we get 400, which is bad request, which means the issue is on client side. There is problem in the request. And just in case the server crashed while fetching, it's 500, that is internal server error. We messed up. This was for the get method. Now let's see another example for the post method. Okay, we are using here post and then users, which means we are trying to create a new user. Okay, in case it's success, we will send 201, right? We are not sending 200, we are sending 201 because it means that we have created a new user. Okay, because a new resource has been created successfully, the status code will be 201. Okay, but in case the email already exists in DB, so we can't create a new resource or user, then we will say 409, that is there is a conflict. And just in case it is not able to authorize you for some of the action which is required, it will send 401, which means unauthorized. Okay, so basically via this example I'm trying to show you that the 3-digit simple status code can give you the complete summary of the response. And as a backend developer, your responsibility comes that you send the correct status code in the response. So it should not be the case you are always sending 200 in the response. That is not a good practice. You need to send the correct response code based on whatever happened, right? So that's a very important best practice to keep in mind. So always sending 200, no, send the actual current status code based on what happened, because if you send the correct status code, it will really help you and even on the client side to debug the things in case something fails, right? Just from the status code you will get some idea, okay, this is the thing, then we can go to the next steps. But in case you have messed up the status code, then it adds on ambiguity. There is additional step that you need to ensure what went wrong. So don't do that. Send the correct status code, and by doing that you are improving your debugging, your monitoring, and even your client side handling. So just as a summary, this is what we covered in this video. Status code, 3-digit code which tells to the client what happened with the request. 1xx means info, you can say request is in progress. 2xx means success, yeah, the request was completed successfully. 3xx is the redirection, that is you're going somewhere else. Then 4xx means the client error, your request is wrong. And 5xx is the server error, our server is broken, we messed up. Okay, so this was about the status code that we discussed in this video. I hope you got the basic understanding. In case you have any doubts, put that in the comment section. I'll try to help you out. If you found this video helpful, press the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video to your friends and family so that all of us can learn and grow together. Alright then, this is Mohit Chabda signing off. Subscribe to the channel and thanks for watching.